Hello everyone, I am Manas Srivastav and you are watching UPSC Essentials of the Indian Express. And now it's time for the key terms of the week. The first term we are going to talk about is stagflation. Let us first know why this term is in news. Dear aspirants, the Department of Economic Affairs said in its monthly economic review in May 2022 that India is expected to witness slowing growth and faces an upside risk to the fiscal deficit owing to the recent excise duty cuts on fuel. But it has a low risk of stagflation owing to prudent stabilization policies of the government. Aspirants must know that why this term is relevant for the UPSC examination. So dear aspirants, UPSC picks up such terms especially in the section of economy, and around them it frames its UPSC prelims question. So take down this term and know important features of it. Now let's understand what is stagflation. Stagflation is a term that defines a situation characterized by a simultaneous increase in prices or inflation and stagnation of economic growth. Secondly, stagflation can also be defined as a period of inflation combined with a decline in the GDP. This situation may comprise of following three elements. Note them down for your prelims perspective. Firstly, growth rate of the economy slows down. Secondly, the level of employment remains steadily high. Thirdly, the inflation or price level remains high at the same time. The second term for today is white dwarf. So let's know why was this term in news. Aspirants, you must have noticed in the science news that astronomers have observed for the first time this phenomena which is called cosmic cannibalism, where a dead star is ripping apart its planetary system. According to the article, a star is ending its life so violently that the dead star which is left behind is called a white dwarf, is disrupting an entirely planetary system by sucking in debris from both its inner and outer reaches. So what does this news tell us? It tells us that the white dwarf star is consuming the rock, metallic and icy material, both of which are the ingredients of planets. General as well as conceptual question can be framed around this term as it is related to first time ever observed phenomena of cosmic cannibalism. So the question now arises, what is a white dwarf? So according to the Indian Express article and NASA, a white dwarf is formed when a low mass star like our Sun exhausts most of its nuclear fuel. It is usually very dense, dim and about the size of a planet. It is the last observable stage of evolution for low and medium mass stars. Dear aspirant, every part of this sentence is important for your prelims. You must know that compared to our Sun, a white dwarf has a similar carbon and oxygen mass, though it is much smaller in size. Similar to Earth, white dwarf temperature can exceed 1 lakh Kelvin according to NASA. Also, despite having too high a temperature, white dwarf have a low luminosity as they are so small in size. Understand this point, that where a star ends up actually depends on the mass it was born with. Stars which have a lot of mass end their life as black holes or neutron stars. A low or medium mass star with a mass less than about 8 times the mass of our Sun will become a dwarf star. This you should remember. An important point here to remember is that a typical white dwarf is as massive as the Sun, yet only slightly bigger than the Earth. Dear aspirants, therefore, white dwarfs are one of the densest form of matter, surpassed only by neutron stars and black holes. What else you should know about this news? The case of cosmic cannibalism was diagnosed with the help of archival data from the Hubble Space Telescope and other NASA observatories. Also, the researchers obtained the findings based on the analysis of material captured by the atmosphere of the nearby dwarf star, and you should remember that dwarf star, it is G23844. Now let's move on to the next term, which is anti-defection law. This term is in news because of the Maharashtra Shiv Sena political crisis. The relevance of this particular term for our examination is not only in prelims, where a question can be framed in general around anti-defection law, but also in mains GS paper 2 of polity. So what is anti-defection law? Aspirants should know each and every point about this law and take it very seriously. Firstly, the anti-defection law punishes individual members of parliament or MLAs leaving one party for another. Parliament added it to the constitution as the 10th schedule in 1985. Its purpose was to bring stability to the governments by discouraging legislators from changing parties. Let me tell you a little bit about the 10th schedule. So the 10th schedule, which is popularly known as the Anti-Defection Act, was included in the Constitution via the 52nd Amendment Act 1985. And it sets the provision for disqualification of elected members on the ground of defection to another political party. There is one aspect which you all should know, that it allows a group of MPs or MLAs to join, that is merge with another political party without inviting the penalty of defection. As per the 1985 Act, a defection by 1/3 of the elected members of a political party was considered a merger. But the 91st Constitutional Amendment Act 2003 changed this, and now at least 2/3 of the members of a party have to be in favor of a merger for it to have validity in the eyes of law. Now this point is important for your prelims, which defines what is a merger of one party into another. Another important aspect to know here, that the decision on question as to disqualification on the ground of defection are referred to the chairman or the speaker of such a house, which is subject to judicial review. However, the law does not provide a time frame within which the presiding officer has to decide a defection of case. Now you should know what are the grounds of disqualification. So firstly, if an elected member voluntarily gives up his membership of a political party. Secondly, if he votes or abstains from voting in such house contrary to any direction issued by his political party or anyone authorized to do so without obtaining prior permission. Another point here is that as a precondition for his disqualification, his abstention from voting should not be condoned by his party or the authorized person within 15 days of such incident. If any independently elected member joins any political party, he or she can be disqualified. Also, if any nominated members join any political party after the expiry of 6 months, he or she can be disqualified as well. Lastly, you must know that there is no recognition of split. Due to the 91st Amendment, the anti-defection law created an exception for anti-defection rulings. However, you must remember that the amendment does not recognize a split in a legislature party, but it recognizes a merger. The last term for today is boyfriend loophole. Let's know why is this term in news. Dear aspirants, US senators reached a bipartisan deal on gun safety measures. The reform outline includes what is a significant provision to address the boyfriend loophole. Well, this term is relevant for UPSC because international events form important question in your prelims examination. Also, lesser popular terms, which are often seen between the lines in the news, can also be asked in your examination, so don't be surprised. So, it refers to a gap in American federal and some state gun laws that allow access to guns by dating abusers. The new plan on gun safety measures in US includes a provision to address what is known as boyfriend loophole. This particular provision would prohibit dating partners, not just spouses, for owning guns if they had been convicted of domestic violence. Aspirants, the framework says that convicted domestic violence abusers and individuals subject to domestic violence, restraining orders would be included in criminal background checks. Here, there is a point to ponder. Do you think that there is a need to openly acknowledge the problem of dating violence like the spousal abuse? To know and read more about such terms, do follow UPSC Essentials Key Terms of the Week, which is released every Monday. The link of the key terms of the past week is provided below. Dear aspirants, UPSC Key and UPSC Essentials are two important initiatives by the Indian Express which will help you in your civil services exam preparation. So subscribe to Indian Express for more such videos. Think smart, work hard, conquer your goal.